Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and this is episode 211 of my show. I'm so very honored to bring to you my guest this evening, musician and producer Bily Cox. Hailing from Hobart, Indiana, Bily is a versatile multi-instrumentalist who began his musical journey playing piano and guitar. In 2023, he gained recognition on AXSTV's music competition show Banded. Bily currently shares his passion for music through teaching piano, guitar, and bass lessons. So thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. Bily is in the house, and we're going to get this party started. Hey, Bily.
Ashley, what's going on?
Not too much. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Staying warm here in my new Carhartt hoodie.
Yeah, you're in Nashville, and Nashville's having some pretty crazy weather, right?
Oh my gosh, it's chaos out there. Thankfully, it's lightened up a little bit, but last Monday was just insane. I mean, it was coming down. I felt like I was back home in Indiana. It's just nuts, but still here, and I really appreciate you having me today. This is gonna be fun.
Yay! Thanks so much for joining me, Bily. So Bily and we were introduced from the show Banded. So I actually had the opportunity to talk to Bily previously last year while you were on the show, but I'm so very excited to have you in a one-on-one situation and get to learn the man behind who you are and share more of your journey and what's to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to share with you what I have. It's been a long time in the making, but I'm super excited to be here. Nashville is just a really great place to network and meet a lot of people, and the opportunities are just crazy. I'm very thankful to be amongst it all, and I'm excited to fill you in.
Yeah, rock on. So let's start with your childhood. So you played both guitar and piano during those years. Can you share a little bit more about how learning those instruments helped you on this musical journey?
Yeah. So I started with, piano. Piano was my first instrument. I took private lessons. I was probably in the third grade when I did that. And, not only did it really give me a good ear and to hear the way scales and music kind of works, but I also learned how to read music actually. And I can't say I could still read as good as I once could.
Yeah.
But it's enough to get me by, because down here in Nashville, they go by this thing called the chart system, which is like a number system. So it's not necessarily the same as reading music notation wise, but it can relate. It relates pretty heavily, and I think having that knowledge really helped get me to where I am today, because it's again, it was a long learning process to do that, and there were times where I didn't really want to do it. That I was little, and obviously as a kid, you want to do other things, and but I'm happy that I stuck on the path, and I had really supportive parents to kind of keep me on that path and make sure I stay focused. So today, and as far as the guitar goes, I owe that all to my dad. My dad was a big guitar player, and it was something that kind of ran in our family as well. Like all his brothers played, and we kind of would always get together. We would form this band. We never had like a name for it or anything, but we did perform at like weddings and anniversaries and parties like that. There's this golf course. It's like Crestmore Country Club, it was called, way back at home. That's where I really got into performing and understanding how that all worked, how setting up performing in front of people worked. Because I think at that time I was probably about maybe 14 or 15. But it was a bar, so obviously I was really getting the chance to really see how it all, like how people react to like certain songs, and just to be in that environment at that age, I was very thankful to have that, and see that. And again, I think that's kind of helped me kind of prep me for not necessarily playing down here, but just playing in general. I feel like I had a really good early start because of that. Got used to it and everything. And so he kind of taught me guitar, and I took what I knew on piano, applied it to the guitar, and just kind of stuck with it. I was in high school. I had a band. I did the trumpet as well in like band class. But I also got to play guitar in the pet band. It kind of switched on and off, and I had that opportunity to do that, and it was really cool because, all the other kids were talented, and we would all just think of songs to play and stuff like that. And two of my friends, we started our own band, and we played like open houses and graduation parties. So, and then I graduated, moved to Chicago, and started up a band there. So it's been a nonstop work in progress, but I'm truly I truly love it and passionate about it, and I'm willing to keep it going for as long as that I can.
Yeah. I love that. So, okay. So you finish high school, you end up moving to Chicago. Why Chicago?
Well, Chicago was the closest to my area. So Indiana, obviously you have Indianapolis, which is south, but I was at the very, very northwestest point of Indiana, probably about 20 minutes from the Illinois state line. But I'd say about like a 45 to an hour drive to Chicago. So I was on MySpace. I don't know, you probably remember that.
I do.
And there's this band called they were called Danger Is My Middle Name. It was a punk rock band, and at the time I was very, very punk rock enthused. And they had two songs on the MySpace that I really, really loved. And they put out an ad that they were looking for a guitar player. So I actually had my dad drive me up to Chicago. I don't even know if I was old enough to drive. Yeah, obviously, I graduated. But yeah, I was old enough to drive. I don't think I had made that drive, though. But, they were pretty skeptical. They didn't know who these people were and whatever. So took the old trip up there with the old man. And I met the bass player. His name's Craig Miller, awesome songwriter, really good friend of mine. And we pretty much just auditioned the two songs that they had on the MySpace, and went home and ended up getting a message the next day. And they said they wanted me to be a part of the band. And it just kind of took off from there. So I was in the band for a little bit, still kind of commuting from Indiana to Chicago. I'd say about maybe not even a year later, I moved in with the drummer at the time to my first apartment, and I stayed there for about 3 years doing that band, and had a lot of good things come from it. Learned a lot, but little did I know I had a lot more to learn, because I was always, I loved the music side of it, but when it came to the business side of it, I really didn't know all that was going on behind it. So I kind of, thankfully had those guys to kind of help out with that. But I tried to just pull my weight in promoting and doing the best I could on my side, which, songwriting and promoting and just playing. It was a lot of fun with that band.
Yeah. And so you're in this band, but you end up touring and doing all these really cool festivals. You did Warped Tour, South by Southwest. So talk to us about being on tour with this band, and then some of the memorable experiences that you had on tour with them.
Yeah. So being on tour with the band, it just really felt like a vacation almost. It was probably one of the funnest times of my life. You're just traveling across the Midwest. You're meeting all these people. You're staying with friends. You're seeing all these cool places and getting to play all these cool venues. We did a lot of Midwest stuff, but we occasionally branched out down the South by Southwest, which is in Austin, Texas, which is a lot of fun. We ended up doing that festival. I'd say about 3 or 4 times we went down and did that. And one of the times we had a gig. The gig was, let's see, I think it was a place called the Thirsty Nickel. Could be wrong about that. But we played at it was like at 11 o'clock at night, and we were supposed to play till 11:30. But at midnight, it was going to be my birthday. So the plan was to play the show and kind of get done and then party or whatever, right? And then celebrate. And mind you, it was going to be my 21st birthday. But while we were playing, we ended up blowing the power, which pushed our set back a little bit. So we blew the power for about a good 25 minutes to half hour. And sure enough, we got playing back up again, and midnight hit, and it was just so cool because all the people that were there were people from back home, like friends, other bandmates, people in the industry. And it was just cool to actually have them all there and actually be playing on my birthday as the clock, struck midnight.
Yeah.
And sure, right as midnight hit, man, all them shots came coming, man. I swear there's about 20 shots in front of me. A whole mixture of them, man, like a smorgasbord. I just got the pick, and I was, from there on out, I can't really recall a lot, but all I know is I had a really, really good time. But it's just one of those memories that I'll always have with me, and I'll always hold close and never forget. It's really, really cool part in my life. And so we did that, and then we had a chance to do Warped Tour. Warped Tour was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Warped Tour, we didn't do the whole thing, so we kind of did a three-day things. We did Milwaukee, we did Chicago, and then we ended it off at Minnesota. So there were 3 back-to-back days. So by the end of it, Minnesota is such a far drive. We were pretty tired. Not gonna lie. I may have fell asleep at the wheel driving the van up to Minnesota.
Oh wow! Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no, that is not good.
Not good at all. Like we had the trailer and everything, and I'm very thankful to this day that it didn't go any worse. But aside from that, after doing the Minnesota gig, well, during the Minnesota gig, I don't know if you're familiar. There's a band called the Academy Is, and they were pretty big at the time. Our drummer actually he knew a couple of the guys from that band. So during our set, they actually came up on stage and were watching us. So I thought that was pretty cool at the time. And afterwards, Warped Tour is pretty much just everybody just hangs out and parties on the buses and stuff after. That was my first time I actually got to go on a bus. Was on the Academy Is This bus. And it was just such a cool experience. It's something that I've always wondered what it was like, and to actually see it in person. And, you kind of felt like you just felt really accepted, and you just felt like your band at the time was on the right path, and you're in with the big people now. And it was just, again, an unforgettable experience. And I'm thankful I had it, had a lot of good times with that band, a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it's cool. I know what you mean by going on a band's tour bus, because that's like a rite of passage. Like, you're like, oh, I'm cool enough to actually hang out with these guys and have a beer with them and just, talk about life and music and just whatever. And so that's really cool that you had that experience. Oh
yeah. Yeah. Super thankful for it. Hopefully we'll get some more to come that are similar. So, here's to hoping.
Definitely. So then in 2021, you decided you were going to move to Nashville. So how has Music City influenced your music and career?
Man, it's influenced in so many ways. It's very inspiring to be down here. There's just a lot of really good talent floating around. I had came down, I want to say about 5 years ago. I'd say 2017, maybe 2018-ish. I came down to record a couple songs that I originally wrote. I've been hearing about Nashville and, studio players and how it all kind of worked. And I was very intrigued by it. And I had a chance to come down and record 2 of my own songs, and kind of get that whole experience. And ever since I came down, I had just been wanting to come back more and more. Just by hearing all these players and seeing what they could do. And, at the time, I had been in the original bands and the cover bands. And I kind of felt like I kind of did all I could do back up north or northwest. So I figured the next closest spot that would be, music friendly would be Nashville. So decided to come down and got a glimpse of what that was all about. And I just kept coming down and coming down. I would take vacations. I'd just come by myself. I would stay a week. I would just kind of hop around on hotels. I would go down to the bars and just kind of see who was doing what where.
Mhm.
I did want to do more original stuff, but I also had in mind that that country music was selling, and it's pretty marketable stuff. And there's a lot of it in there that has some rock and roll roots and some rock feel and some pop stuff. And I'm not trying to say I'm selling out, but I did join a country cover band prior to this, and after learning those songs, I was very moved and very inspired to go down and see what it was all about. So came down, and one vacation I was just like, I'm gonna try to find a spot, try to find a place to live. And ended up finding a spot in East Nashville, and just told myself, if I'm going to do it, just got to make the move and just dive in. And I just kind of went for it. And when I got down, I was even more motivated and more inspired to get out, because I knew I wasn't going to go home. So I had to make something happen. So I just kept continually going downtown and trying to meet any and everybody that I could. And even the people that I met on vacations, I would keep in contact and just kept applying pressure to it. And I was very inspired by what these people, again, were writing and what they were doing. And I made some friends and ended up getting very lucky to get some gigs and to get some production work and to get some things come my way. Obviously I'd love to be doing more. I always strive to make a lot more happen, but I think where I'm at now, it's been a real good payoff, and it feels good. But again, this is my third year here, and I'm still trying to push it. I'm still going after it. Still want to keep as busy as I can.
Yeah.
But that whole country rock pop kind of mix is kind of what I was, motivated to do as I got older. So I figured, why not try Nashville? Coming here, and so far so good.
Yeah. I feel like there's so much inspiration in Nashville, right? Because there's so much music. And you're right. When you go down to the bars and you meet people, you just never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to hear play, who you're going to share a beer with, right? And it's just like the opportunity is theirs. It's just like you said, you have to be persistent and you have to keep pushing and put yourself in these different environments to meet people and just be like, this is me, this is what I'm about, and let's rock out. Let's see if we can do something.
That's really it. Yeah. I feel like the location and the amount of people, it's just, you just never know who's going to be listening or who's in the crowd. And I feel like if you have good company, I feel like it's a good start.
Yeah.
Again, obviously, I'm very there's a sense of urgency to want to make things happen, but I feel like things happen for a reason, and I feel like you can't rush what's meant to happen. And I think at the end of the day, as long as if your intentions are good and genuine and you're good company, I feel like I found that to work most effective down here. I'm very thankful for some of the people that I've met because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love what you said about being genuine, right? Because you might meet somebody and you might not really hit it off with them, and you're just like, okay, But then sometimes you meet the right people, and you're like, oh, I'm so happy I met this person, right?
Absolutely. And coming down, I don't know. I mean, there's the people that I met coming down on vacation, but at the end of the day, you don't really know them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you actually do get a good friend or a group of friends that you can really not just call out and be like, hey, I need something, but just talk at like everyday things. Just how's your day going? How's the family? Just non-work related stuff. Like that's when you got something special, and that connection with people. And it's just good to have that, especially being far away from home.
Right.
It's my first time living on my own. All the roommates I had in Chicago were 2 or 3 roommates, but it's just me down here doing it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just grateful for the opportunity to still be at it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of opportunities, you had an opportunity to join a new show on Access TV. How did you end up on the show Banded?
Banded. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that happened. I was down on Broadway. I was playing at Mellow Mushroom with a guy named Michael Simeon, who was also on the show.
Yeah.
He's a guitar player in Gamblers in the Neon. And we had just finished up with, we were doing like a 2 to 6, like a 2 acoustic duo thing at Mellow Mushroom. And we had just got done. And a couple of the producers from the show were actually walking around looking for people to put on the show, like a last minute thing. And it's funny because one of the girls I had ran into probably like a month before, I'd ran into her on Broadway, and I met up with her and some of her family, and they had mentioned that there's a show in the works, and they wanted to know if I want to be a part of it. And I said, sure, hit me up or let me know what's going on. And I didn't hear from him in that time, but a month went by, and I ended up seeing her again. And after we did our set, we sat down with them, and we just it happened like right there. We got some drinks, we ordered some pizza, and basically the next 2 days we were in the house, and it all started up. So it really happened pretty fast for me, I just think right place, right time. It couldn't have been, I don't know, things like that. Like, again, I truly believe it's a sign. And I think that, if you're in the right place at the right time with the right people, something cool is going to happen. So they found us, and then, yeah, we were off to the races with it. And it's quite the experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's so cool how you were with Michael and it all just happened so fast. And like you said, like, you need to put yourself out there and be open to these opportunities. And you were, and then you ended up being on the show. So looking back on your experience of the show, how did it contribute to your musical growth?
I think it contributed to my musical growth by just working with people and making a product happen in so little of a time.
Right.
Working together as a team, like teamwork skills, or just finding ways to relate to these other people who you don't even know and making something good of it. Because I had not been, it has been like years since I had actually did a band. So, I mean, I've done bands before, but I mean, nothing like this, nothing like TVs or like, cameras on you or people watching or anything like that. So it really kind of put the pressure on, like, under like a big microscope to make things happen. I think just, help songwriting, get hearing out other people and their ideas and their experiences and talking with them and like relating with them and just seeing how everybody worked. Just gave me a good chance to just meet some really cool people and make something really, really good of it. We had a really good mentor, Paul Eversold, who just worked wonders for us. He took control, and he knew how he wanted to help us make our sound, and meeting him was just incredible. Just an awesome dude. Still keep in touch with him, and very thankful for that opportunity. And it really pushed me, I think, inspired me to tap back into the rock and roll roots, because the band that I was in, Silence is Static, was probably the only like rock and roll band on the show. And it's funny because I came down because I wanted to do more country pop stuff. So because I'd been in so many rock bands, I had felt like, but it really challenged me to think back, kind of get back to those roots and see what I can come up with, and how to kind of control and guide the group the best that I could. Because some of the guys in the band they had never done bands before. Our singer Mike Smith, he had only been like a solo artist for some time, but me and him really got along well, and the chemistry was there, and it was just fun to build and just kind of work off each other. And I think our drummer Eli he had never been in a band before. The other two were in some groups, so was definitely a challenge in some ways to make it happen. But man, what a fun time, and what a cool place to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it happened a little under a year. I had been here, like, I moved in November, and then the next October is when the opportunity came up. So I was, as far as timing goes, I was very appreciative of that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because you were able to have such a cool experience and be in a house with all these people, and then be in a band with these people, and then have to do and write and perform a new song every single week for these judges. And then these judges are like, oh, we love the song. We don't like the song. Oh, you know, something seems a little off here. So it's got to be so wild for you to be in a band, right? And then you're thrown into a band with people you don't really know, and you're expected to make all this magic between you, right?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tougher than you'd think, and just not a lot of time to do it. We're all living in the house, and we have these deadlines, and everybody's got their own schedule. We're all from different walks of life, different places in the world, different ages. So the challenge of just getting everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
I won't lie, at times it took a lot. It took a lot to do that, to round everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I was very happy with my band and my people.
Yeah.
I think we delivered the best we could each round.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the judges said. And I couldn't be happier with the outcome of it. I had this good old time.
So then on the finale, you were able to perform with Vince Neil, Smokin in the boys' room, and you had a guitar solo. So talk to me about that iconic moment and to be performing with such a legend.
Oh my God. This is like one of the peak moments of my musical career. I was so giddy, like I just couldn't believe it, because there was talks about it. Like, was he going to get up there and do it with us? Was he not going to do it? So we didn't really know until last minute. But
yeah,
I mean, I've loved Motley Crue since the start. Ever since I heard I forget what I had heard first, but probably kickstart my heart. Ever since hearing that, I mean, I've always been a fan of their music and that rock power, feel that they have. And I mean, shoot, to have the man himself just up there joining you, it's pretty unbelievable. In the moment, I'm just, beside myself, and it's just, you can't really believe it. But I can't get too excited because I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to miss any notes.
Yeah.
And I had a slide. It was more of like a slide solo. So I was very, my slide skills aren't really the best. So, and we found out about 2 days before that we were going to do that. So I just practiced and worked hard at it. And it was awesome. We had run the song the day before, and I guess he had watched it from the trucks. And then we ran it again, and he came in and watched it again from the inside. And then he came in actually after that. He walked up and met us all, and it was just truly humbling. The guy is just awesome and just super cool and genuine. And I was just so thankful he got up there and did that with us, because I mean, he didn't have to do that, but the fact that he thought that we were good enough to do that, it was just it meant a lot. So I was just very, very proud moment for me. If they ever need a guitar player, if Motley Crue ever, if John 5 isn't cutting it, I'd be happy to take over if he ever needs it. So
yeah. Yes, Bily, speak it into existence. It's so powerful what our words can do. So I love that you said it out loud, right? You put it out there. It's like, hey, you need a guitarist. I'm the guy.
Yeah, I mean, does it hurt to try? Who knows?
Shoot your shot. I am all about that. So now you've been teaching. It's been like 6 years, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay, so talk to me about teaching. What inspired you to start teaching people?
I got a cousin back at home who I had started like before anything that I've taught. Because what I do back in Indiana was I eventually got a job teaching in a shop. But before that, I was doing private lessons for my cousin. Mm-hmm. And he kind of picked it up super quick. And I remember, thinking back to when I was learning, and when I would pick up on things and how I felt about it and how excited I was, and that I was able to make this thing sound right. I had seen the same thing with him, and he was very just, I don't know, I feel like I connected with him and he got it. And that kind of gave me the satisfaction of, well, maybe you could do it for more people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got the call to work at the store, Broadway Music, they originally had me come on as a shipping and receiving guy, but I knew they had a lesson program as well. And I kind of just, I told them that, I had a little bit of experience teaching lessons, private lessons, and that I was really eager to maybe help out with the store. But at the time, they had all the positions were full, so I was kind of just stuck on the sideline, kind of waiting to get in there. Mm-hmm. But I really just wanted to connect with people who wanted to learn about it, and kind of just, excuse me, kind of just share what I had learned, and try to help them and develop their skills and get to where they wanted to be. Because it's just, music's just a beautiful thing, and to have that feeling to be able to get it and to pick up the guitar or piano and make something happen out of it. It's truly a magical feeling. And I just wanted to just connect with people that wanted to do that as well, and help them to get to where they wanted to be, the best that I could. And I was very, very, very thankful to get a good clientele through Broadway Music back at home. And now I'm in Nashville, and I'm, of course, doing lessons virtually. Mm-hmm. But even so, like, there's ways, all the students that I have are very committed and motivated to play. And I'm just happy that they stick with me. It's been 6 years, and I still have some of those kids that I started out with, when I was teaching in studio, and they stuck with me. And it's just a good feeling that to know that they're actually taking in what I have to say. Mm-hmm. And they look up to me in that aspect. And I'm going to do that for them as long as I can, because I truly enjoy it and I truly love it.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
I love that. I love that you've had some of these students for such a long time, because I think when you look back on your younger years, right, and you think of maybe you took a certain subject in school, or, when you had a music teacher, and you think, who were those amazing people in my life that really shaped who I was? And I had a moment with them. And I think it's really beautiful that these kids who you're teaching, they're able to just be like, music is fun and Bily is great. And they're going to look back 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever, as long as their life is. And they're just going to be like, yeah, I took guitar with Bily and he inspired me to do this. Like, that's got to feel so amazing that you can have that impact on these children's lives.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's incredible. I have not only children, but I have some adults as well that are learning from me, and, even middle-aged people. And mm-hmm. It's just so cool that I can reach a variety of people that, they're actually interested in hearing what I have to give them. Mm-hmm. And, the lesson it's all about music, but, sometimes it doesn't have to be. Like, I've had lessons where the student just wanted to talk, or maybe he had like a bad day, or it might not even be music related. And I feel like when I get those kind of lessons, like that speaks a lot to me. Cause like, obviously I'm there to teach you music, and that's what I'm getting paid to do. But when they feel so comfortable with me enough to open up about maybe this or that, or like personal things, like mm-hmm. I'm going to help out in that aspect as well. And like, that's just, I love when I'm able to do that for somebody,
Yeah, that's very powerful. Like, to know that you're taking guitar lessons and the person that signed up for your class doesn't even want to do guitar. Maybe they just need to say, like, oh my gosh, something happened to me over the weekend and I need to talk about this. And you're just talking about that the whole time. Like, I think that's really amazing that you're able to have that effect on your students. They trust you with music, but they also trust you just as a genuine, good-hearted person. That's really powerful.
Yeah, it means a lot. And, I'm hoping to see these people take it as far as they can. I want to be responsible for what they decide to go with musically, and the path that they take. And, some of these kids are starting band, and starting their own rock bands and doing like jazz band, like bands in school. And they're in good spots in life where they get it. They don't even know they get it, but they get it. And it's so scary to me because I can see that they have it.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of keeping them, focused and just staying the course, because I mean, let's face it, learning could be a little frustrating. I mean, learning, I don't know, I get frustrated learning a new software or something.
Yeah.
It's like, if you could just get a little bit down, it can go a long way if you just keep applying yourself, I feel like.
Definitely. So are you taking on new students?
I'm absolutely taking on new students.
Okay, Billy. So for people watching right now that want to take lessons with you, how can they contact you?
Well, they can either contact me through Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
My handle is _Bily Cox.
Mm-hmm.
The store that I'm working through, Broadway Music, back at home. That's if they want to reach out to them, they can go through them and get the whole program, get the lesson plan all figured out. And that's in Maryville, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd say, either message the store or give them a call. I forget the number offhand. But the store is called Broadway Music. So if you look it up, Facebook, Instagram, you'll see that they have a page there, and got a whole bunch of awesome teachers, in studio. I'm the only virtual teacher going through that store at the moment. So that is the only thing, is that if they go through me, it'll be virtual.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be more than happy to take on new people that want to learn keyboard, guitar. I do bass, so try to keep it different, versatile, I guess.
Yeah. And I love that you're virtual, though, because the person doesn't have to be in Indiana. Like, you could be anywhere taking these lessons with Billy. So guys, if you or anyone wants to learn music, get in touch with Billy and sign up for lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. All over the world. Yep, just one-on-one.
Yeah, worldwide. So with your expertise in piano, guitar, bass, do you have a specific instrument that you love to play? Which one is it and why?
That's a good question. I feel like I've been playing a lot more guitar since I've been down here.
Mm-hmm.
But the piano, being that I started on it, I just feel the most comfortable with it. I know the most about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can think the least when I play it. And I don't know, it just resonates really well with me.
Yeah.
And I just always seem to kind of gravitate back towards it,
Mm-hmm.
The piano just has a good spot in my heart, and I think it always will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I've been here for going on 3 years, and I haven't even had all my gigs that I do have been guitar related gigs.
Mm-hmm.
All the piano stuff that I do is recordings or just me playing. But maybe there'll be a time where I get out there with the keyboard to play out in live and kind of showcase that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hopefully there's a house keyboard because they're so heavy. I mean, I have a full 88 key, so if I do start playing, I'm gonna have to downsize a little bit. But
yeah,
I'd have to say the keyboard. I could just kind of play freely and not think about it and just get lost in it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've seen people carry keyboards to their gigs, and it is pretty much the size of a person, right? They're lugging it with them. At least a guitar is a little bit more easy to lug around. But when you have an 88 key keyboard and you're just like, okay, this is not working. It's like carrying another person.
Pretty much. I ran into, on one of my vacations, I met the guy, I think he was the keyboard player for Jewel.
Oh, cool.
He was coming in or leaving a gig, and he was double parked on Broadway. So like down here, you park in a parking garage usually and walk to your gig.
Mm-hmm.
Being a keyboard player, like you said, it's so heavy. He was actually driving on Broadway to drop his keyboard off and then driving over to park at the garage because it's just so much. I mean, they have lighter ones, but still, it's gonna be quite the load to do. So it's like, you know, if that ever comes, I'll probably have to, like I said, get a lighter one. But I don't really see many keyboard players down here. I know it's kind of weird. You know, I thought I would, you know, see a little bit more.
Yeah.
When I first came, I would introduce myself and I would tell them that I would lead with the keyboard, thinking it was in need, because I thought it would be like a rare instrument down here. But, you know, like I said, everything's just been guitar, which guitar's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love that too. I feel cooler with a guitar, but but I know more on the piano, I'd say. So it's kind of a little toss up there, you know?
Yeah, a little bit of a toss up. So how do you stay creatively inspired?
I listen to a lot of playlists. I try to stay in tune with new artists and the new songs that they're making. I try to listen to mixes and see, you know, what kind of instrumentation is being recorded. I've had a chance to produce some demos and some tracks for some people down here, and it's been enough to get through some good doors. But I mean, I'm not making any radio quality mixes yet, but I just listen. I try to listen to a lot of what's going on around, and I don't try to copy it, but I try to recreate it, like in my interpretation of it, I guess the best way, without ripping it off. Like I just, you know, a lot of listening, and even to like, you know, like personal stories. Like a lot has happened since I've been here, and you know, I've had some really cool things that I've been inspired to play or write about. So I'd say some personal experience as well. But man, everybody down here again, they're so talented, and it's very motivating to know that, you know, you got a lot of people that are practicing and doing it, recording and just staying on top of their game, and everything that they're doing. You know, anywhere you listen, anywhere you go, there's no bad player down here. I swear, everything feels like it's just right out of the radio.
Yeah.
And it's very inspiring to want to be like that, and to want to just hang on that same level as people. So I just try to listen to see what's hot and what's new and what's cool. And try to just stay within those lines and try to get a good outcome. You know?
Yeah. Is there anybody like that's influencing you right now, like certain playlists or bands or specific performers that you're just really digging right now?
I think just that country rock sound in general, I feel like is really doing it for me. Like my whole thing is like, you know, I feel the country today is it's relevant, and it's the most organic kind of music I feel out there. Like, you know, they say, like the guitar, for example, like the guitar it's just a staple in music. And I feel like country music is showcasing it, like it's keeping it as relevant. Like obviously you have your rock bands and stuff, but a lot of the rock bands aren't putting out any more stuff. Like they're not putting out new music or recording things. But I mean, if you flip on the country station and you're hearing guitars and you're hearing like that rock sound, and I'm just very moved by it. It's just it's staying like relevant, and I just think it's just fascinating to me. So anything with a good guitar in it and good just big drums, I think that's what's moving me. Like I don't know, like Jason Aldean's got some good tracks, like Florida Georgia Line. Like I know they broke up, but I mean the production on their songs are just incredible. You know, people like that, and yeah, I don't know, just inspired by that country rock pop sound.
Yeah, very cool. So for the beautiful people watching right now that absolutely love you, Bily, and want to support you, what can you tell these people? Where can they find you? How can they support you as a musician?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. My handle is _Bily Cox. Right now I'm doing a Friday gig every Friday at Tin Roof in Midtown. on Democrat Street. I play 7 to 10, and then I play every other Friday is a double. So I'll do 7 to 10, and then I'll do the second shift, which is 10:30 to 2:30. That's at Tin Roof in Midtown every Friday. And I'm actually going to be in Vegas in February. I have a residency at Old Red. That's Blake Shelton's bar. He just opened it up this year. Yeah. I'll be there February 12th to the 18th, and that'll be with my buddies Jay Hartley, Matt Ferranti, and Isaiah Olian. And we'll be there for a week. So that's going to be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to that. But if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I'm constantly posting shows that I get throughout the week, because a lot of the gigs besides the Tin Roof kind of just happen, last minute, or they're not really planned gigs, but I just kind of get asked to fill in here and there. But I am hoping to get some more Broadway gigs that are actual, reoccurring things. But at the moment, just none of that. But yeah, if you follow me online, you can see the shows that I got coming up. I'll be posting on the story and all that kinds of stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. So guys, if you're in Nashville, go see Bily. And in February, he's going to be in Vegas. That residency is pretty cool.
Oh man, I can't wait. I've only drove through Vegas. I've never actually stopped and seen it and partaked in all the activities. I'm no gambler by any means, but if I have enough to maybe try my luck, who knows? Maybe I'll win big. But
the thing is, I've been to Vegas many times. I actually just went in May. I don't gamble either, but there's so many fun things to do that are not gambling in Vegas. And all the hotels are themed, and they have entertainment and the food. Actually, I'm going to be honest, the food is not amazing because you're on the Strip. It's all like based towards tourists. But I mean, there's still so much going on that you're able to take in.
Yeah. Do you have any recommendations or anything you prefer?
So I went to see Michael Jackson's Cirque du Soleil show at the Mandalay Bay, and I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and I've never actually seen a Cirque show in my life, and it was absolutely amazing. I cried through most of it because it was so beautiful, and the visuals and the music. Even if you're not into Michael Jackson, if you just see a Cirque show, it's just so beautiful. And I mean, the aerial work is absolutely incredible. So I would definitely recommend that.
Ashley, you're speaking my language. I am a huge MJ fan.
Okay. Then I sold you on that. I sold you. You're going. Okay.
Honestly, if it weren't for Michael Jackson, none of it, I wouldn't be here.
Wait. So you have to go then, and then you have to tell me how much you loved it.
I'm going to do that. I'll make a point to do that.
Definitely. It's at the Mandalay Bay. And the thing is, when you go get tickets, this is also a tip for everybody else watching. With a Cirque show, the way that the theater is, you don't want to be like close. You want to be in the back. So I was actually in the second to last row for the Cirque show, because you want to make sure you're far back enough that you can experience everything. Because if you're like in the fifth row, there's going to be people like behind you, like in the air, and you're not going to be able to experience it. So the further back that you can get, the better.
Wow. Okay. So location. So back. Gotcha.
In the very back. Like I usually like to be front row for stuff, but like for anything like Cirque related, like the last 5 rows of the theater.
That's so cool. Okay. So you said Mandalay
Bay. I'll send you all the information on it. Yeah.
Oh my God. I would love that. Man, I wish I was able to see Michael Jackson before he passed away.
Same. I feel like it was an experience. I feel like it was an energy. The dancing and the singing and the music was just something else. And that is the closest thing that you will get to it. And I think that's why I was so emotionally moved by it, is because I grew up with all that music. And then to see it play out in such a way, it was just, I'm going to be honest with you. My face was full of tears multiple times. And I just was like, I'm so happy no one's looking at me right now, because I can't believe I'm crying like this.
Sounds amazing. Oh my God.
You have to go and then tell me all about it.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. So where I'm from in Indiana, I'm literally 5 minutes away from Gary, Indiana, where he grew up.
Yes, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, I've gone to every year they'll throw like a party or something to for him, like a memorial, like
Wow.
for his birthday or what have you. And I've actually gone a couple times and checked it out. And man, how cool! It's just incredible. Like I just remember that Super Bowl show, watching him and being I was just phased. I'm like, wow, I don't know what I'm watching, but it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, any of his performances, because you think of like what the ideal performer is, and that's him, because you would just see him and you're like, wow, this is like, he was like from another planet, right?
Yeah, he's like an alien, man. Like he came up on the one light and then he came up on the other, and then he came up right in the stage. I'm just like, wait a minute, how can this guy be in 3 places in like 2 seconds? Like there's just no way.
The magic of Michael Jackson. He was like you just didn't even know what you were watching, right?
Dude, I was immediately I'm sold. So I practiced the moonwalk for years, tried to perfect it.
Love it. So, Vily, that's all the time that we have for this evening. But before I let you go, is there anything that you want to tell the room?
I think, if anybody's out there trying to do anything, music related or not, I think you just gotta maintain energy and motion. Just keep it moving. Whatever it is, just don't stop, because if you stop, that's when you're gonna lose it. So I think just go for what you want. Don't wait around. Just keep active. Keep on it, and make it a point to make strides every day towards your goal and towards what you want to do. Because I think if you do that, and if you be a good hang, I feel like you'll come up successful, hopefully.
Yeah. So. I think that's beautiful. Just persist and keep going and focus on your goals. And when it's your passion, that's even better. So follow your passion, be genuine, make connections, and ultimately just do what you love.
I think so. Yeah. Can't beat it. So true.
Love it. Bily, so very grateful for you coming on the show. This was so much fun, guys. If you don't already, please make sure to follow Bily. He's in Nashville and he's going to be in Vegas in February. And if you're looking to take music lessons, also hit him up. Bily, this was so much fun. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much again. We got to do this again soon. You got to come back anytime you want. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Vibe with Ashley Live. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe and like this video. Support good music, stay warm, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Ashley. You take care. See you soon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right.